Well, I guess that's what I do.
C4, this one also, or just the committee?
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Both of them. So
I see in the Dakotas, all them.
That's fine.
I don't have any.
That's fine, we'll do both.
The theory being wild.
All right.
yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry for the little delay here getting signed on and getting things figured out. Call to order the Thursday, October 2nd, special Boone County Board meeting at 6:05 PM. Start with a pledge of allegiance and a quick invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all here this evening to work for our community. Tonight is kind of a special night as we welcome a new member into our midst. We ask that you give her strength and perseverance to move forward in our community and in an office that's struggled with issues as of recent. We ask that you give our community patience and understanding as she learns her new role and as those who work with her understand that she's learning that new role, and help her grow and be the best clerk that she can be. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Carl Johnson,
Here.
Josh Shoemaker,
Here.
David Cordray,
Here.
Brian Schneider,
Here.
David Wiltsey,
Here.
Ryan Curry, Alyssa Patterson, here. Tom Wahlberg,
Here.
Rodney Riley,
Here.
Matt Regano, Dana Logston, Marion Thornberry.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'd ask for a motion to approve Board Member Shoemaker and I think Logston. Is that correct?
Wiltsey, Mr. Wiltsey.
Wiltsey. Okay. So Shoemaker and Wiltsey. What about Logston? Is he for this one also?
I think he's good for it. He sent his request Monday.
Okay. So those three. So Board Members Wiltsey, Shoemaker, and Logston to join remotely. Motion by Mr. Thornberry, seconded by Mr. Wahlberg. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Thornberry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment. We have two. We'll go in the order that I got them. First one is Curtis Newport. If you would please name and address for the record.
Curtis Newport, 12258 Squirrel Tree Lane. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never been so happy to come to a county board meeting. Partly because I know it'll be short, but I want to commend the chairman, Chairman Johnson, for his choice of Amy Olson for our next county clerk and recorder. I've always said that one way to improve government is to hire people with management experience in the private sector. Let them bring those skills to work for us. That's what I tried to do 17 years ago when I was appointed, and that's what I know Amy will do as we go forward. So I'm here to pledge my full support for Amy, not only in this appointment process, but after she is sworn in, I will do everything I can to help her assimilate into that role and make things go as smoothly as possible for her. So just as I was honored with a unanimous appointment to county treasurer 17 years ago, I believe Amy deserves that same honor. And I certainly hope that she will be unanimously approved this evening. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next up, I have Rodney Riley.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name's Rodney Riley, 909 Pearl Street, Belvedere, Illinois. I just wanted to take a minute here just to, again, thank Chairman Johnson for his appointment of Amy Olson as our new clerk. I know she's going to do a fantastic job. We've had several conversations, and I know she's going to do just fantastic. So I do want to take a minute, though, and just recognize some special people that are in the room tonight, which is, I believe, the whole staff of the clerk's office. Is anybody missing? I don't think so tonight. Oh, we got a couple. One. Okay. Well, for those of you that are here and for her as well, I would just like to take a moment and thank you guys for everything. Thank you for all the hard work that you've put in, the extra hard work that you've put in, the stress that you've had to endure, all of you. It hasn't been easy. It was a very difficult day that day. I watched many of you in tears as the things unfolded, but I also watched you come together as a group, a strong group, a tight group, and a unified group. Laura, I'm going to miss your name pronunciations. To name a few, it has been. And when I sat in the chair where Chairman Johnson is, you were on my right-hand side. I appreciated everything that you did, all of you, but it took a lot for you to be able to sit up at that chair and do what you did. So again, a shout out to all of you. And again, welcome, Amy. You're going to lead them well, I'm sure. Help her out, gals. She's going to need your support, which I'm sure she has, and moving forward. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Is anyone else for public comment? Seeing none. I would ask for a motion to approve Resolution 25-34, the appointment of County Clerk and Recorder Amy Olson.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Thornberry. Discussion.
Looking forward to working with our new clerk, and I've been circulating petitions for her. This is Dave Wiltsey.
Thank you, Mr. Wiltsey. Mr. Logston or Mr. Shoemaker, anything?
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Olson, do you care to address the board? Give us your 2 cents, as it were.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the appointment and your trust in me to do this job. I'm honored to accept the appointment for Boone County Clerk and Recorder, and I take it with a lot of responsibility to bring the office back with integrity, transparency, checks and balances, and with the great team that's already there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. I think the email that I sent to everybody really pretty much said it and echoes what Mr. Riley said, that the staff has done a fantastic job in covering during this period that's gone on much longer than any of us really wanted. But I thank them for dedication and support. And I know that they will do a great job in helping to train Amy in her new role. So thank you very much to all of you. That being said, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations. Next step will obviously be for you to move on from your current employment and then get together with, I'm sure, Ms. Tobin, and we'll get you sworn into that position and all those things and start learning the lay of the land.
We're looking at the 13th, right?
Okay. Super. Well, good luck in your new endeavor. Thank you.
I think the resolutions are on your desk too for tonight, just so you know.
Yeah. All right. We don't need any executive, do we? Mr. Wilson, do you want to make a motion?
I muted myself. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn Is there a second? Mr. Wahlberg? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The motion carries at 6:15 PM. We are adjourned from county board meeting.
Special.
We'll pause so that those that don't want to stay for the next part can leave.
Oh, they gotta stay.
They got to
You
stay?
gotta stay. You're here for you gotta stay. You can't leave.
You gotta suffer just like we do.
Your tickets are good for the next couple hours. Hour, maybe.
You're leaving us too? You don't want to stay?
I would love to.
You would love to, but
I got some other stuff I hear.
yeah, there you go. There's a pot roast in the oven. I know.
Tomorrow.
Thanks, Laura.
You're welcome, guys.
Your meeting has convened in the hallway.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't get to mess with you no more.
No, you don't.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
No,
We can come into the office to mess.
you have to teach her how to read my writing.
Exactly.
All right, I would like to call to order the Thursday, October 2nd meeting of the Committee of Whole for Admin at 6:16 PM. We'll start with a roll call. Carl Johnson here. Ryan Curry will be absent. Brian Schneider.
Here.
Dave Cordray.
Here.
Dave Wiltsey.
Here.
Josh Shoemaker.
Here.
Here.
Tom Wahlberg.
Here.
Lisa Patterson.
Here.
Dana Logston.
Here.
Matt Regano. Rodney Riley.
Here, sir.
Marion Thornberry.
Here.
All right. Question for the state's attorney. Since we already did a motion to allow them into the special board meeting,
Have to do another one.
we need another one? Okay. I'd ask for a motion to approve Board Member Wiltsey, Board Member Shoemaker, and Board Member Logston to join remotely. Motion by Mr. Thornberry, seconded by Schneider. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Motion by Mr. Cordray, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no minutes to approve tonight. Any public comment?
We wait till our matter is called on the agenda.
Yeah, you'll have an opportunity to speak when your matter's called. Absolutely. Okay. Any other public comment? Seeing none? Business. All right, Mr. Curry could not be here. Go ahead.
That raffles.
We don't usually approve.
There is one class D.
Well, there is.
Yeah.
Ah,
BFW.
Ms. Tobin is
Thing you call it.
clapping.
She's on it.
I know how that goes.
All right. So we have, where are they at? Oh, I'm in the wrong meeting. That's why. Right? Oh, this is the right one. So we have raffles. I'm going to figure out why that's not soon, right? So one with our class D, I'm sorry, you want to come to the podium and just let us know who you are, what you're doing, where you're with, all that stuff, please.
Hi, I'm Sheila Gonzalez. I'm with the VFW Post 1461 County Veterans Club, and I am here representing the club for our Class D raffle license.
Questions? Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. All you have to do is just appear and say you were here and tell us, and that's all we get. And then we'll sign the info and off you go.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Give me a moment while I get to the right board meeting.
Sweet, huh?
There we go. All right, next up, new business. Ask for motion to approve the claims in the amount of $58,617,042. Understand that Carl Johnson abstains from voting on all claims presented by William Charles, the only service company, Board Maine. All claims submitted by the Boone County Highway Department. All claims submitted by any county department regarding sewage, storm, water, construction, and excavation.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Thornberry. Any discussion? Roll call, please. There's Carl Johnson, yes. Brian Schneider,
Yes.
Dave Cordray,
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey,
Yes.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
Tom Wahlberg,
Yes.
Lisa Patterson,
Yes.
Dana Loxton,
Yes.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Oops. I'd ask for a motion to approve change order number 9 from Scandrolli Construction in the amount of $12,882 for ComEd work to take place on a weekend rather than shutting down the courthouse during the week. Is there a motion for that? By Mr. Cordray, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Discussion, Ms. Tobin, can you fill us in why this is necessary?
So, and I think Randy is also on as well. So the transformer, I am speaking electrician lingo that I know nothing about. They have to take down the transmitter, right? Transformer. Sorry, they have to take down the transformer in order to add a service because of the addition for the courthouse and everything going on. They originally thought we had a holiday on Columbus Day. That's October 11th. So then there was discussion of closing the courthouse for that day. It's not as easy as just closing the house. There's Tom Jakeway with 17th Circuit could explain a little bit more about that. They have to actually appeal to the state and go through a whole process. So we asked for the cost of doing it on a weekend, and this is the upcharge from most of this is ComEd for them to do it on a weekend.
Questions? Questions for Ms. Tobin or for Randy?
I would just add that the change order is a necessary upgrade to the courthouse electrical system that serves the existing facility, the new addition, and the addition of the new emergency generator. The additional cost represents the work being accomplished during the weekend hours for ComEd, for the electrical contractor, and for supervision by Scandrolli Construction. And yet it is my understanding that weekend hours are required, as the courts cannot be shut down during regular business hours. 2 dates have been proposed, one in October, one in November. And with this schedule in mind, we would request approval of this change order.
Questions or concerns, comments? Mr. Riley?
12,000, is that for both days then? Or just one of the days? So we're doing it now, we got to do it again in November?
No, we only need to do one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if I didn't catch the date, all right.
Yeah, there was consideration to do it on different days that the courthouse would have been closed, but that really throws a wrench into the schedule of construction.
I understand.
Patterson?
And I know they do this all the time, but is there any concern of it going down and not being ready to come back up on Monday?
Well, I think that's why they're doing it on a Saturday. So Sunday is a backup date with the goal of having everything back up and debugged by Monday morning, ready for business.
Okay, so it's not the whole weekend. It would just be Saturday and Sunday's our contingency day.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks, Randy.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion, questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Well,
Needs to be a roll call. Oh,
This is committee though.
that's true.
It's not going to board. They need to know today.
Yeah.
So that they can schedule with them.
Why don't you do a roll call tonight? And-
be safe side.
And we'll have to put it on the board agenda also.
Yeah, but
It's the amount of is less.
is less than? Okay,
Yeah.
still do a roll call though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll do a roll call. It's for the change order amount of $12,882. Carl Johnson, yes. Brian Schneider,
Yes.
Dave Cordray,
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
Tom Wahlberg, Lisa Patterson,
Yes.
Dana Logston,
Yes.
Rodney Riley,
Yes.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Budget presentations, judges. Mr. Jakeway.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Jakeway. I'm the court administrator for the 17th Judicial Circuit Court. You entrust me to oversee 5 budgets each year. Due to a little creative thinking and the help of Becky Tobin, I brought you essentially maintenance budgets subject to waging for existing staff. While I'm glad to review any particular budget or line item, I'd like to spend my time to discuss with you the new initiative, because that's really the creative piece, which is allowing me to stay within numbers comparable with 2025. So I'll give you a moment to pull up that new initiative sheet if you want to take a look at that. In particular, the court has to appoint attorneys in certain cases. These are primarily juvenile cases and family cases. And when we do so, it's at county expense if people are indigent. In January 2024, the Supreme Court changed a rule which says that we need to go from billing rates of $50 an hour and $75 an hour when you're in court to $150 an hour. So that's a doubling, if not a tripling. We're feeling that. In the current fiscal year, we worked to mitigate some of those expenses through our existing criminal conflict counsel contract. We restructured that so that position is now handling juvenile work as well. The contract went up by $15,000, but we're estimating to save around $75,000. So if it works out, we're $60,000 ahead. That's what we did this year. For next year, we're trying to use that same type of creativity. And the new initiative builds upon that concept by the creation of another position. Again, to take on that legal work that we rely on for appointed attorneys. We may be able to gain some efficiencies and have that attorney do some work on behalf of the court, on behalf of the judges. And ultimately, we can manage expenses greater. The proposal talks about a $75,000 new position, attorney position. And by doing so, I'm reducing the line item for legal rotation in the 65 budget by $90,000. That's how we're keeping that budget at a maintenance level. If we did nothing, if we didn't have that type of creative thinking, and again, I compliment Becky for helping to come up with this proposal, I'd be standing here probably asking to increase that line item to somewhere in the tune of $350,000, asking you for an increase for $120,000. But I'm not doing that. So I think this new initiative is fiscally responsible. It's a better option than just trying nothing. And I hope that we have your support, knowing that it meets your overall goal to keep the budgets pretty much at an even level for the next fiscal year. Thank you. I'm glad to answer any particular questions.
Questions for Mr. Jakeway? Mr. Walber?
What is your current budget today? I'm trying to find it here. For that item. Or did you pull it up, Becky?
I have it right here.
As of the report, 261,000. So we're over budget. And that's why we're trying to do something to make sure we're not in this position again next year.
If I could for a second. So you'll notice in your 2023 budget, as Tom mentioned, that when the rates were still $50, the budget was 100,000. Then in 2024, we increased it to the 230. 2025, we left it at the 230, but there was some back bill, some of the expenses from 2024 didn't get paid till 2025. But yes, we're well over budget, and this is only through September.
I would project it to plateau as high as $350,000.
So this year to date, Becky, is through September at 252.
This is at 252. This would have been maybe a week or so ago. There could have been other claims made. But yes.
And you want to reduce this number to 140?
That's correct, with 140 in addition to the 75,000 for the new position. So combined 215, we're going to try to mitigate that expense rather than go up into the 300s or beyond.
Ms. Patterson.
Is 75,000 a competitive wage? Like, I know we've struggled in the past with attorneys coming in, like it, or I guess what I'm getting at is that are we gonna be able to get somebody at 75,000? Or do you think that there's a chance that you're gonna have to come back and say, okay, we're gonna need, or we're gonna have to dip into this a little bit more because we're not getting any candidates?
I'm hopeful. We tied it to the offices of the public defender's office and state's attorney's offices.
Okay.
I think it'd be an attractive position, having a connection to the judiciary as well. So I'm hopeful that we can with the 75,000.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Riley.
Just real quick, Tom, with any new initiative, what's your timeline? I mean, how soon will you know whether this is going to be fruitful, for lack of a better word?
Hoping to have the position filled and at the start of the year or in December. I think it needs to be evaluated, checked in after. I'd like to say 4 months, and 6 months is probably more realistic, again, because the billing comes in on a quarterly level. But certainly it has to make sense. If this doesn't prove to be a fiscally responsible way to manage those costs, we need to reconsider it.
All right, thank you.
Further questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Wiltsey.
I've read this memo. I actually printed it off. It talks about the line items. It talks about the dollars amount, but I'm really not quite sure what the individual does, and I'd just like some clarification on that.
Certainly, the attorney would further support juvenile cases, juvenile abuse, neglect cases specifically, as well as take over what is handled exclusively by appointed counsel right now is family law matters. A guardian ad litem is an attorney that's appointed by the court to be the ears and the eyes of the court to do an investigation and report that information back to the judge. Right now, those are the type of matters that we're trying to capture in a managed way under a contract. That would be a departure from our current conflict contract itself. Further, we would think. Further, I think
the person would be an in-house guardian ad litem to save us money.
it would the concept of which I'm speaking to Judge Tobin about right now would be a staff attorney who could be appointed to represent parties in juvenile court, be appointed as guardian ad litem, and also this is the additional benefit, perhaps do some services on behalf of the court for the judges. I'd give you the example of in family law, there needs to be calculations made on payments between the parties. That's something that we could have the assistance of an attorney on staff to help prepare orders and calculations. So.
Okay, thank you. That's a clarification and I appreciate it and I will be voting aye.
Thank you, sir.
Any other discussion or questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Next up, we have the coroner.
Mr. Chairman, do we need a voice vote to move this forward to the board or is it okay?
No, Mr. Wiltsey, this is just budget presentations.
Okay, thanks. I'm sorry. Thanks.
Good evening, everybody. Had a chance to look at things, but really no increases in the budget. Just the same as it's been for the last few years. And then I did have a couple salary issues. I was asking for 3.5% for my deputies and my administrative assistant. And then there should be another one for the livery service. I guess it's not on there. But the livery service, I was asking for a $20 increase for their on-call and their per transport. So currently, the livery service, they're at $30 for their on-call time per pay period. And then they're at $70 per transport when they're called out to an actual scene. So it would be a $20 increase for both of those. And they've not had an increase. I think they did one increase in the last 18 years for call out, but no increase since I've been coroner for their on-call time.
Okay, questions for the coroner? I have one question, Ms. Wiggett. You have on your chief deputy coroner and your deputy coroner, you have X amount of dollars per pay period. What's their pay period?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks? Okay. Okay. Any further questions for the coroner? Thank you very much, Ms. Wiggett.
Thank you.
State's Attorney. Ms. Smith.
I also have submitted pretty much a maintenance budget. My budget is very heavily salary. That is pretty much the bulk of my budget. I know the request this year, I think, is 3%. I just had a couple things I wanted to point out. As a reminder, and for new members of the board, the state's attorney's salary, the Boone County portion is $21,800 per year. The remainder is reimbursed by the state. The public defender also has a reimbursement from the state that I'm sure she'll probably talk about as well. But just so that everyone here is aware that that is the amount that comes out of Boone County. The other thing is we did get an increase in our grant wages for our victim witness coordinator. We received another $2,000 from the state. So that $44,000 for the grant wages fully funds our victim witness coordinator. It's all reimbursed. One thing that is going to affect actually the judges, public defender in my office, is an increase in Westlaw. What that is the online legal research tool that we use to make sure that we're up to date on any current cases and statutes and things of that nature. It's basically been held that if you don't have access to legal research, it could be malpractice. The product that we're currently using through Westlaw is going to be phased out. And Mr. Jakeway did a lot of research and I think negotiating with Westlaw to present the new package that we're getting. And that increase, I think in each budget is approximately $2,500. We split it between the three offices. So that's why there's an increase in the publications. We use the state appellate prosecutor's office to do any appeals that we have and also conflict cases. If we were to hire an attorney to handle those positions, again, that would probably be another $100,000, $120,000 for that expertise. They actually gave me the invoice for this year, upcoming year. Usually I don't get it this early, but it is remaining at $25,000. So that's the same as last year as well. And I guess the other thing I just wanted to point out is that we do have forfeited funds, an account that we can use for certain items. And we do use that for our investigator's vehicle and also for a lot of technology in my office. So we don't come to the county board to ask that money in my budget. So I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Questions for the state's attorney? Mr. Waller.
It may be one question, but Becky, so this COLA, is that consistent with what we're doing or is that?
It is. Yep, the budgets that you'll see tonight all have a 3% factored in. I mean, ultimately, you'll decide what you want to do there, but I have plugged 3% in.
And my salary is actually set by the state. So.
Any further questions for state's attorney? Thank you very much.
Thank
you. Public defender. Ms. Cross.
Good evening, everyone. Our budget this year is pretty straightforward. I am requesting a maintenance budget, so there are adjustments for prices or costs that have gone up. As the state mentioned, our Westlaw monthly portion went up about $2,500. There are two items that are beyond a maintenance budget, and those items are covered by our state funding from the Public Defender Fund for this state fiscal year. The increase in funding is, so I guess last year we received $70,000 in funding. This year we received $90,000 in funding. The increase is coming at a really fortunate time. When our office is relocated to the courthouse, we will have several equipment needs in that space. So I added the additional funding to the equipment line item so we can purchase the items needed to furnish our office at the courthouse. The other item increase is a $1,000 increase in the CLE budget, and that would allow one of our felony attorneys to attend a National Defense Attorney CLE in the upcoming year. So both of those items are covered by the increase in PD funding that we received from the state this year. I can answer any other questions that you have. If you have any questions for me later, feel free to call me at the office.
Questions for the public defender? Mr. Wahlberg.
And forgive me if you stated this here, the increase in the publications, what was that? Those are for the.
That's
related to what you.
That's the Westlaw increase. So our publications line item includes our statute books, which is about the same as last year. The increase is from the Westlaw subscription that we share with the judges.
I thought that's what you just said. I just want for clarification.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Ms. Cross, on the equipment line item you've got, and maybe you said this and I just missed it. The last year there was nothing actually in the budget. The year before only just under 6,000. This year there's almost 28,000. Is that just for your move? Is that what that's for, or what's the scoop?
We've put it in the equipment fund to purchase furniture for the courthouse renovation. I assume a lot of our equipment at our current office, I'm not sure it would even make the move over to the courthouse. A lot of it will probably fall apart. So I have talked to the state. I do think we are using their desks because they already fit in the spaces. But I do anticipate some certain chairs, waiting room chairs, some whiteboards, things like that. So that increase in that amount in that equipment line item comes from the additional state funding that we got.
Okay.
So it's not anything additional on the county.
So there's additional revenues to help.
Yes. Yeah. We received 27,000 more dollars
Okay.
from the state this year.
Okay. All right. Further questions for? That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Probation. Ms. Gallo. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Good evening, everybody. Probation runs on two funds. So I'll first talk about our probation services fund, which is Fund 39. That money is generated from probation fees that are paid by our clients. Those monies are court ordered. My overall budget has decreased from last year by about $75,000. I have budgeted $164,000 for services for clients. If you have any questions about my line items, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions? See none on that one. Go ahead.
So far, so good.
So far, there you go.
I like it. So our county fund, Fund 69, funds the operations of the department and our salaries. So we've had some decreases as noted on the screen, and we've also had some additions to this fund. Overall, we are down $4,100 from our operation portion of the 69 fund. Not sure if there's any questions noted on that, and then we'll talk about salaries.
Questions? Seeing none, can go ahead.
Okay.
You got it easy tonight.
Not 3 for 3. Okay, so also what is on board docs is my approval letter on the annual plan. AOIC has sent that approval letter a couple weeks ago. And in that letter, it talks about what they have approved, which that is also signed by our Chief Judge Lowry. So we brought up the starting salary 4.5% to be competitive with counties that are similar to us in size. And I have information on that if you're looking for that. Because of that, we are also doing a salary adjustment, which will be 5%. The total cost for that to the county for that 5% is $9,600, specifically $9,640.59.
Can you explain why that is for us?
Sure. So there are 10 employees in my department. 6 of those employees are fully funded, either through a grant or through the administrative office of the Illinois courts from the Supreme Court. So 6 fully funded employees. 2 other employees are subsidized, salary subsidy. That's what that salary subsidy means. That number, unfortunately, has been at $24,000 maybe for 20 years. It's been a long time. And we regularly, as part of the annual plan, ask for that number to change to be a grant and aid, which is a fully funded position. We certainly recognize that they would like to give it to us, but we don't get it just because of the state budget. That doesn't stop us from asking on a regular basis. So I also want to note that that 317,000 number is the number that we were given after July 1st, the start of the state fiscal year. When our raises go into effect, our salary adjustments go into effect, the grant aid goes into effect with that as well. So when I say they're fully funded, they will cover that salary adjustment. So in total, that number, by the end of the fiscal year, that number will be 444,000.
Questions for probation?
I didn't finish. We also have, 2 county funded positions. That totals my 10 people.
Okay. Any questions?
Oh,
That's all you got?
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gallo.
Thanks.
Building. Mr. Bliss, good to see you, sir.
Good evening. I also am proposing more or less a maintenance budget. Exceptions would be wages, which we've not determined that yet. The other line item would be for vehicle maintenance. We're looking for an increase there because we're in desperate need of another vehicle.
I could probably add to that.
Go ahead, Ms. Tobin.
So currently, the truck that Drew drives is part of the leased fleet through Enterprise. The vehicle that Diane was driving, the zoning inspector, was an old squad car. What is it, a 2008? 7, sorry. It's dead. It's sitting in the back parking lot. So Aaron's working on what we can do to lease another vehicle. That seems the most economic option right now. We're paying $300 some a month for Drew's truck, and we don't need anything like that for her. So we're looking at that option.
Okay. Questions for building? Thank you very much, Mr. Bliss. Unless you have anything else for us.
That's it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Planning. Ms. Roberts.
Yes, hello, thank you. Our budget this year is proposing the same numbers as last year. I'm here to answer any questions on any line items you might have. I also wanted to take the opportunity, I know in absence of our quarterly reports, that reminding everybody that we do have a public hearing next Tuesday for our comprehensive plan at 6 PM with the Regional Planning Commission. So I just want to take the opportunity to plug that for everyone too.
Okay. Questions for planning? This is an easy crowd tonight.
I think that's why the whole list was all together, right?
There you go. All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Roberts.
Thank you.
Somehow, I don't think the next one's going to be quite as easy. I'd ask for motion to approve special use permit 13-2025 94XX Beloit Road. Motion to approve by Mr. Thornberry. Is there a second? By Mr. Cordray? Second by Mr. Cordray. Staff report.
Yes, thank you. Becky, I do have there's the staff report, but I also have the PowerPoint ZBA September 23rd. There you go. And then if you scroll to that case, just in case they want to see some of the overhead pictures. There you go, thanks. This application again is for a special use permit for a solar energy facility 1 kilowatt or greater by Cypress Creek Renewables, located in Belvedere Township on the west side of Beloit Road in south of Squaw Prairie. The subject property is approximately 39 acres in size and the site area proposed is approximately 36 acres. The applicant is seeking a special use permit for the solar development. And the applicant has stated that the location has been chosen due to the proximity to the electrical infrastructure, substations and distribution grid, flat manageable land and a willing landowner. The Auto Solar LLC proposes a development of 4.99 megawatts ground mounted solar on approximately 36 acres. The arrays are said to have single access trackers, 12 feet in height at full tilt, and the generating capacity will be approximately 8 million kilowatt hours per year, which would equivalent to powering 800 single family homes. The Zoning Board of Appeals found the proposed meets the requirements of the zoning code as after reviewing the hearing factors and findings of facts adopted by the Zoning Board of Appeals with a vote of 5-0 in favor on September 23rd. A special use proposal was approved by the Boone County Board of Appeals with a vote of 4-1, subject to the drafted 20 conditions amended by ZBA. Planning staff had made the presentation, including the description of the property, the zoning, conformance, and the surrounding comprehensive plan. Land use identifications. The request was reviewed by building, health department, engineer, and the requiring applicable permitting and time of construction. The Soil Water Conservation District indicated an unfavorable opinion as the land use LE score of 98.4 was a result of the land evaluation. Belvedere Township had requested additional way at the intersection of Squaw Prairie and Beloit Road, which they had agreed to. The applicant had presented to the county, the ZBA testimony and presentation were given. The areas they testified to were with regards to existing location, access road, construction of the project, tracker system, landscaping of pollinator-friendly plantings, a decommissioning plan returning the site back to farmland, job creation, and drain tile protection. Several items were submitted for the record and part of the testimony. Mr. Hale of the Zoning Board of Appeals had asked about the LE score. The applicant indicated that plantings have been proposed. Corey Javrick of the Zoning Board of Appeals had asked about the parcel after it's taken out of commission after 40 years. The applicant indicated that it was a long-term use and they recognized that the infrastructure would result in decommissioning the project. Again, there were several members in opposition from the city of Belvedere, Mayor Morris had asked the applicant some questions with regards to subsidizing the project. The applicant did indicate the school district would see some increase in property taxes. The attorney Drella of the city of Belvedere also asked a series of questions. The applicant indicated that it's not part of an acquisition team, as they had asked where other projects have been identified in the area. Ms. Del Rosa, planning of the city of Belvedere, planner for the city of Belvedere, indicated that the type of development that would serve the area would pass through residential development. They were in opposition of the project based on the existing infrastructure and the proposed land use for the city of Belvedere land use plan. Ms. Lopez Bettis, representing Growth Dimension, submitted a letter of opposition to the project, testifying that they're not in support of the proposed development at the location. Again, Mayor Morris of the city of Belvedere testified in opposition, as the primary concerns with the project was within the city of Belvedere's 1.5 planning jurisdiction. He indicated that land classification was a rural holding classification. And he noted again, the city extended water and services. There was one more opposition. James Dakota was a nearby property owner in opposition of the project. Additional ZBA discussion, the zoning board of appeals discussed the application and closed the public hearing and postponed the case into the September ZBA for continuation of discussion of the findings. The applicant's attorney at that time gave a brief summary as part of the public comment. He listed the various benefits that were previously testified by the applicant of the solar and indicated to alleviate any concerns the city had. They proposed a condition that would grant a utility easement along the property bordering Squaw Prairie Road. In conclusion, the zoning board of appeals found that the case special use 13-2025 has met the requirements of the zoning code, subject to the findings as drafted with a vote of 5-0. Zoning board of appeals also recommended the conditions of approval with the amended condition 20 that was suggested by the applicant with a vote of 5-0, and then the zoning board of appeals recommended approval of the case with a vote of 4-1, subject to the findings that were adopted by staff, as well as the 20 conditions, which I do have them listed. I do have the 3 that were like an outlying conditions that were not usually, that are outside of our usual conditions for solar. So I can read those aloud if you'd like to get to that point. The applicant is here as well.
Okay. How many, you said there's 20 conditions?
Yeah, there's 20 conditions. Do you want me to go ahead and read
Yeah, why don't you?
that were like outliers? Okay, so the one condition that we had recommended was the applicant shall dedicate the additional right of way as indicated and agreed upon at the intersection of Beloit and Squaw Prairie Roads prior to building permit. That has to do with what the township was requesting at that intersection for future improvements. The second condition was with regards to construction hours, because the project is across the street from the school district 100. So we asked that they're limited the times that are not during the school construction traffic for the construction hours. And then we asked that an agreement between the school district and the developer be made and filed with staff prior to any building permit issuance with regards to the hours of operation for construction during construction. And then finally, the condition 20 was as the applicant proposed, owner shall grant a utility easement on that portion of the property bordering Squaw Prairie Road, permitting placement and construction of any necessary utilities to permit the expansion of city services.
Okay, thank you very much. Would the applicant like to make a presentation or say a word or 12?
I put something together, so but I think I'll just read the statement.
Sure.
And I'll kick it over to Ryan. I'm sure you guys have seen solar developers do PowerPoints numerous times, right? So we're just going to cut to the chase.
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, you're right.
We brought a board in case anyone wants to look at the site plan.
Oh, that was perfect because then we wouldn't be seen.
Right.
I thought we were losing Aaron's vision.
I'm like, look out, I can't see.
No.
You can,
And that's
okay, my name is Nick.
That's just an attorney.
Yeah.
He's
Like Vanna White.
there you go.
Nick Standiford, I'm a land use attorney at Shane Banks, 70 West Madison in Chicago. This is Ryan Anderson from Cypress Creek Renewables. He's the developer of the project. We are a team. Good evening. I'm pleased to represent Otta Solar LLC as its land use attorney. As I said a few minutes ago, I'm sure you've heard quite a few solar farms at your seats. And some of those solar farms have a room full of objectors who come and complain about projects and having to look at the project and things like that. This isn't one of those projects. The only real objection came from the city of Belvedere. The neighbor who was mentioned at the ZBA meeting who objected, the reasons for objecting, I asked him, I said, do you have a problem with the view? He said, no. I said, well, what's your objection? He said, what Belvedere said. And what did Belvedere say? Belvedere said that they want residential or commercial uses at the site. And they said they want to extend their utilities, that they have utilities out there, and that our project would impede the expansion of those utilities. But we showed the ZBA that the last subdivision that was built in the area, which is south of the site, was developed over 20 years ago. We explained that there's plenty of room to develop a subdivision north of that subdivision and south of our site. And we showed the ZBA that the city's future land use plan, I brought copies as well, shows that the property, the future land use of the property is, they envision it to be ag, not residential, not commercial, but ag. And I brought copies if you want to pass these around. So the meeting went very, very late at the ZBA. We were behind the Invenergy project, which I think just came before you all a few weeks ago, perhaps. So we were there till about midnight, and we decided just to close it down and continue it for a month so that the ZBA could have a chance to think about their vote and vote the following month, go through the findings of fact and the special use factors. So when the ZBA reconvened, like Ms. Roberts said, we proposed a utility easement, and that's in your packet as well. But I brought a copy. I like paper copies of things so I can see it with my own eyes. But this is the exhibit that we showed to the ZBA. And what this exhibit is, it's a GIS map. And these are great maps. They show where the utilities are going to go. And what I did was I actually overlaid our site plan onto the city's utility map, onto Boone County's utility map. And these show some of the utilities that go up near the site. And what we have here is a water main that kind of comes right on the frontage of the school's property. And then it also runs east-west north of the school's property. That's the water main. You also have a sanitary line that goes doesn't parallel the road, but kind of comes right into the school. So I wanted to show this because what we proposed was a solution. The city said, we don't like you impeding our expansion of utilities. So we said, okay, we'll give you an easement so that on the north end of our property, the city can continue to run easements east-west. So we can run that water line east-west across our property. If they want to run the sewer line up to our property, they can also run that west, and then they can run it north. They can run it wherever they want within that easement. So we thought that was a creative solution. We also pointed to, sorry about that. Thank you. We also pointed to a road use agreement that we had with Belvedere Township. And under that road use agreement, this is in your packets as well. In the road use agreement, what this project is proposing is actually to dedicate land. And the dedication of land would be to widen the turn lane at Beloit and Squaw Prairie Road. And that would allow for safer crossing there for teachers, students, any motorist on the road. And I brought copies of that as well. So our landowner was going to give the easement and he was going to give the land. That was part of the road use agreement with Belvedere Township. It was approved by the by the Boone County engineer. And I have a copy of that if anyone wants it. It's a few pages long. So that's what we explained to the ZBA. And we closed our comments by noting that residential and commercial growth in the area would be speculation. So if you look at that, I think a really good tool is to look at that map with the utilities on it, that GIS map. And you can see the distance between our proposed solar project and the landmark crossings to the south subdivision, which was developed over 20 years ago. So there's room for a future subdivision there if the market dictates that there be one. But requiring the landowner to wait 20, 40 years for any residential or commercial development, that's speculation. What we know for certain is that the landowner wants to use the property as a solar farm, and he shouldn't be prevented from using it in that manner. The ZBA agreed. It found unanimously that all of the hearing factors were met. The ultimate vote was 4-1. The one vote was, you heard the soil score was really high. Well, I looked at the Boone County soil map, and almost the entire county is prime farmland. So that's not really surprising. So now the decision is with you. And as you mentioned, Mr. Chairman, solar farms are not easy decisions, right? As you pointed out, this is not going to go quickly. These are tough cases, but we feel like we've added a lot to this project to become a good member of the community. And you may be asking yourself, well, what are the benefits of these solar farms? What do they give to Boone County? But you can break it down like this. The landowner benefits from getting increased rent and the ability to hold on to the property. The developer benefits by, once the project is built, they get paid for sending electricity to the grid. The public benefits because my wife can watch her TV shows at night when I'm at these board meetings and not worry about the power fading out, right? These produce electricity, which is a public good. Folks who want to subscribe to these projects, these are community solar projects, meaning people can subscribe to them and save money on their rising electric bills. That's a good public benefit. The public also benefits from the increased property taxes that are spread out to the school district, to the township, and to the county and other taxing bodies. But this project has even more hyper-local benefits. We talked about the dedication of the road, as you saw in that black and white image. We talk about the utility easement that we're showing in that GIS map. I think one of the projects that went before you talked about the use of agrovoltaics, and that was kind of the tipping point that led you to approve the project. This project also uses agrovoltaics. So that's the pollinators, the sheep grazing, stuff that's good for the soil long term. At the end of the project, the project will be removed. And if the conditions are such that residential development is they're banging down the landowner's door for residential or commercial development, the project will be decommissioned and it can be used for that purpose. So it's not like this is saying that this will forever be a solar farm. It's not. So Ryan's here to answer questions about the project. We believe that this satisfies all the state law requirements and it satisfies all the hearing factors as found by the ZBA. And we'd ask for you to affirm the ZBA's recommendation. Ryan's here to answer any specific questions about the project.
Do you have any comments you wanted to make at all?
I do. Thank you, sir. Just wanted to highlight two things. I'm happy to go through this PowerPoint on the generic information about what we're trying to do, but the two things I want to highlight are, one, my interactions with School District 100. I did meet with them about a year and a half ago now at their school district. I just want to report about something about they're doing. So I was asked a question, I think at the last hearing, about what we can do for the school potentially. The main thing I could do for the school is develop a project very similar to this. This project is being developed under the Illinois Shines program under what's called a traditional community support project. There's also a block in that program for public schools. One of the requirements for public schools is that they own the land, and then from there it's developed in a very similar way. I was trying to actually pitch that idea to Mr. Sean Winters at School District 100. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to break through in kind of the sales process. But in reviewing some of the recent agenda minutes, I do know they signed an agreement with Nexamp, which is a competitor developer, to develop almost probably an identical project to this. It would have made sense to try to tie in the project across the street from the school to the school. But because of the way the regulations are structured with the Illinois Shines program and the requirement that the school district own the land, it's just not possible to match up that. But I will commit to having continued discussions with the school district, perhaps at the construction timeline schedule, about if there's any other opportunity we can do for the school, or potentially maybe some small STEM benefits presentation, stuff like that. But what we're trying to do here is to be a good neighbor to the school district, be mindful of their construction, their hours, and not impact anything directly involved with the school. And I'm happy to answer questions about that. But the second thing I wanted to talk about is mainly about what's on the screen right here on the agrovoltaics. I was just at the Illinois Renewable Energy Conference 2 days ago, and I had a lot of conversations with shepherds who are actually be tending to this land. So the combination of pollinators and the sheep grazing As developers, we focus a lot on the sheep as vegetative maintenance. The sheep are designed to go in there and to trim down the weeds, to eat the natural pollinators, to till up the soil. That's part of it. But oftentimes I forget, and I was reminded in the past couple of days, that the sheep farmers are actually running a real farming operation at these farms. It's not just that they bring in sheep to mow the weeds and to check a box on the Illinois state scorecard system. They're actually producing meat from these fields. I was speaking with, I forget the name of the company, but it was Chauncey and Brooke Watson. They're from DeKalb County, and they would be very likely as a candidate to graze this property. And they said that this kind of operation actually saved their family farm. They have limited access to land. They're trying to expand. Costs are rising. This gives them great, cheap access to land in which they don't have to pay to use it. They actually get paid to use it. And there will be something like over 1 million 4-ounce portions of sheep produced in Illinois off of solar farms just from this operation alone. So it's not just kind of a poster child, bring the sheep in to mow down the weeds. There is actual farming that's going to happen that's going to benefit Northern Illinois farmers and local residents. So those are the two things I'm passionate about and wanted to highlight. But I'm happy to answer any generic questions or general questions about the project as well.
Questions from the board for developer or for staff? Well, let's start with the developer first, or the representatives. Mr. Waller?
Just, Ryan, I'm not trying to question what you said, but I kind of looked into the school board minutes and maybe I didn't read them clearly. I was under the impression that it was just that the school board did, you're correct, did sign something next stamp, but I thought it was to reduce their electric bill. I didn't know that, I didn't read it as a construction.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt, sir. I'm sorry. There are two related agreements from what I found, and I do mean to reach out to the school directly. It's just in the time frame between the two meetings. I was only able to review the minutes. There's an agreement with an outside consultant that District 100 has just signed about energy efficiency, a lot of general school go about maintenance and everything, which electricity is a very small part of that. The agreement I'm talking about with Nexamp is for the purchase and sale of renewable energy credits, to which my understanding is only related to this Illinois Shines program. That's the only way they could come about. I've been meaning to talk with Nexamp and with that outside consultant as well, see if there's anything we can offer to assist that project. But with school districts, they have to go through a formal RFP process. So it's not as easy as me saying, I can do this great thing for you, please hire us on. There's a formal RFP process that needs to go through. So I don't have all the answers on that specific question, but I do think there's a distinction between that general consulting agreement and the rec contract that was signed with Nexamp.
Sure. Okay. So but you weren't referring to that they were going to construct solar, or you think they may want to construct solar?
Well, to get the renewable energy credits through the Illinois Shines program, you do need to build a solar project. So.
Fair enough. I'm sorry, I just wasn't aware of that. So that's where.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
What else? Okay. Question, how long is the initial lease on this particular project and how many re-ups are there and for what length?
The initial lease term is 20 years with 4 5-year extensions. So a total of 40 years. Our intention is for this project to last the full 40 years. But that is the lease structure.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Wiltsey, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I thought that was an excellent presentation by counsel and by his expert. The more we do that fits what works for us, the less we're going to have pressure from the state of Illinois for some other site and location. This seems to meet a lot of the check marks we need to have, and the pollinators and the sheep raising is a good part of that. And I want to remind all my colleagues that this ties up this land for 40 years so that it can't become a parking lot, a industrial building, a Kmart or something. Kmart shows you how old I am, a Walmart or anything else. And so this whole proposal sounds really good to me. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else for questions for the applicant or their counsel? I don't see any more for you. Thank you very much. Questions for staff? comments, queries? Ms. Patterson?
Does that, well, I'm questioning language and I'm wondering if I need to make a motion to change the language.
Well, let's ask what your question is first.
All right, so they, for 20, they have the owner shall grant a utility easement on that portion of the property bordering Squaw Prairie Road, permitting placement and construction of any necessary utilities to permit the expansion of city services. Should that not be a right of way?
Rather than an easement?
Yeah. I just want to make sure that,
It could be, we can consult with the highway engineer and just see, what his preference might be before the next.
okay, so we can clean it up and I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
whatever that is, that he has that, like, what he needs.
Right.
Yep.
And the conditions can be amended at the meeting as well.
Okay. So we'll clarify, and then if need be, we can amend it at the board meeting.
And we can propose some amendment.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Wahlberg?
I can add to that. Ms. Patterson, I think that's a sound recommendation. Yeah, consult with Justin, because I feel like that maybe there was something there. I mean, and if the applicant was okay with that from the standpoint of, let's say you want to add a turn lane or something, you need to expand the road, that would open that up and give that a little bit more clarity.
Right.
If you want to put easement or right of way, that would give us flexibility.
Okay. Just in that way, we can make it whatever it needs to be. I just want to make sure that with the county engineer that everybody, I want everybody to be on the same page and have everything buttoned up and not wind up with problems down the road. Thanks, Jesse.
Anyone else? Mr. Wahlberg?
So I just wanted to add for full transparency here tonight, just for the record, I am an adjacent landowner and farmer. And so I'm gonna abstain from voting on this matter for that reason. So I just want to make that my reason why.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Riley?
The letters of opposition and stuff here in the city, they're not here. I'm kind of wondering if anybody has any insight on as to why, or did we not hear from anybody else from the city or Growth Dimensions or anybody else? I didn't receive any all I'm saying is I didn't receive any phone calls, and I don't know if we approve this tonight or whatever. I don't know if anybody else got phone calls, but I think it's kind of strange that if there was opposition that they're not here tonight. So just my 2 cents.
Ms. Roberts?
I can only make the assumption that because they testified at the zoning board of appeals, they would expect that be reported on as it was. And that, no further testimony would be, permitted. So that would be my only thought.
Okay. Mr. Thornberry?
I like the presentation. I do not like where it's going. I talked to some of the people that have kids in that school, and there's a lot of concern about safety. And I ran on a platform to save farmland in Boone County. I've said this a million times. I love solar and I love wind. Got to put it where it's going to do the most good for everybody, not just one person. And when you take one of the highest producing lands in Boone County and put something on it that's not going to be able to be used for farmland for 30 or 40 years and still call it farmland is ridiculous. Because farmland has to be farmed. Otherwise, it's just a piece of land sitting there growing grass. We've got a million places this thing could go better than where it's going. And why
I've asked this question a million times. Why are you going to the places that is going to take food off of somebody's table instead of going to where it's going to benefit people a lot more than just in the electricity field? That's all I got to say.
I'll give you a minute. Go ahead, Mr. Welty.
This isn't somebody deciding whether they're going to put a grocery store on that quadrant or this quadrant or another quadrant. This is somebody who owns the land that they can keep sheep on it. They can keep a pollinator on it, so it's not non-agricultural because it's not plowed. It's got sheep on it. And this is what these people want to do with it. And to think that we are not the supra ZBA of the county. We can't just say, hey, this is where we want something. Applicants and owners have to come to us with a petition to have it where it is. And in this particular case, it maybe is not ideal as some members may think, but it sounds to me a good way to make sure it doesn't get asphalted over in the next 40 years for some other use. And in the meantime, still have pollinators, still have sheep, and still satisfy the not only the owner's desire to make some money and keep it from being sold off, but it's all about also what direction are we heading in solar energy? Because I'm telling you what, the deal made in Springfield to take down some of the clean coal plants and limit Byron means that, and to allow the increase of electrical prices means we're going to get pounded and pounded and pounded. And this is an opportunity to put, as council said, some people that could subscribe to this and benefit from it in the subdivisions. And so I reject the comments and I will be voting aye.
Ms. Patterson.
If I can go down a rabbit hole for a minute, I would like a comment if you could. I'm a little bit more interested in the sheep. I also am more interested in the STEM with the school because I'm sitting here as a 56-year-old woman. So in 40 years, I probably won't even be know what a solar farm is. My brain will be mush. But the kids who are being educated right now in that school will be the ones who are taking our place. So I think it's really important that part of the argument that we have is a lack of understanding. I mean, it's been around for a very short period of time, so there's a very limited amount of information. I really want these kids educated as much as possible because they're going to be the future. They're going to be the ones that are going to be here when decommissioning is happening. They're going to be the ones that have to live with the decisions that we've made. And I want them to be able to make better decisions or at least sound decisions moving forward.
If I understand your request for a comment, I'll answer the school part first. As far as in relation to the actual solar farm, probably we don't want children to be touring the solar farm.
No. I'm just talking about educating them about what you're doing. What does this look like? I mean, you said STEM, and so I'm thinking you have some sort of a program.
Yeah, as you were speaking, I was coming up with ideas. I was thinking possibly we could invite some of the shepherds to the school and have a presentation about agrivoltaics, something I'm super passionate about. I'd be happy to have a presentation there as well. I do know we have at our company, or I can partner with some outside consultants who do this, educational opportunities about solar panels, what they are, bring in a mini solar panel, tell about what's inside it, all these things. I'd be happy to commit to make those presentations and coordinate with School District 100. Specifics, I don't know. I'd have to do more brainstorming on it.
That's okay. Yep.
And your request for comment about sheep, can you restate it?
Yeah, so I assume, to my knowledge, we haven't done any of them that have sheep. Correct? I mean, so this program, like, do we, I mean, I don't see any details in here and maybe I'm missing it, but I mean, these people, like if you're talking about the ones in DeKalb, have done this before. So shelter, water, going in and out of the property and like that type of a thing. Is there sort of a standard that has to happen? Because what I don't want is animals out there without water, without shelter, there's got to be some sort of regulation there.
This is actually incredibly timely. I'm going through this issue in a nearby county. I don't want to say the exact county, but they have the same exact questions about sheep grazing. We're proposing this idea. A lot of counties around the state of Illinois typically don't have too many questions. They like sheep. They want sheep. It's a great optical thing for the project. But to your answer, we don't want sheep harmed on the property. We want to make sure they're safe. So in this other county, what we're doing is we're creating a livestock health management plan, which I can commit to. You can that wouldn't be any big deal, is to create a condition. But that plan would talk about stocking sizes, how many sheep per acre, grazing timing. Typically, we start in March, sometime towards the fall. We end. It's not year-round grazing. Requirements that they have access to water. In that case, they want us to find a local vet to be on call in case there's any sheep with injuries. Despite that, though, it is important to remind that these sheep are not pets. They are livestock. There's going to be some instances, hopefully not in this property, but around the state of Illinois, where sheep die in solar farms just out of old age or injury. You also need to be concerned about protection from predators. There aren't that many predators in Illinois, mainly just coyotes. Typically, we defer to the shepherd on whether or not they want to have guardian dogs. It's not typical in Illinois, but some shepherds also use donkeys. I know that Brooke and Chauncey, the two shepherds that I'm familiar with and that I talk to, they don't actually use any guardian dogs because they don't have the need. The sheep are self-sufficient. They have sufficient fencing systems. You also need to be careful about the wires. You want to have standards about the wires being tight away from the sheep, although the sheep don't bother them too much. And the reason we use sheep as opposed to other animals is they can really get under the panels. The panels can go all the way up down to 18 inches, leading edge down to the ground. The sheep like to get under there and they eat, most of the Illinois forage. So, I'd be happy to commit to that plan before building permitting or as reviewed by the county. I think that's a good idea. But yeah, generally that's what we do as far as sheep grazing.
No, I want to make sure, we are a farming community. So I want to make sure that if this is something that we're doing to try to enhance a project that we may not necessarily love, we can at least make the best of it and make sure that everything's protected. Thank you.
Mr. Riley?
I'm going to hang up there just for a second, boss, on the sheep thing. I don't know, maybe this is something that Board Member Schneider can remember, but Board Member Mueller was here a few, year or so ago, and the old phrase that I happened to jot down, and I don't hear it anymore since he's been off the board, and maybe this had to do with milk production, stray voltage. Is there I can't remember, was that something that had something to do with the milk production, or was that the safety of the animals themselves?
Stray voltage as far as animals interacting with the electricity on site? Is that what you meant?
Yeah. I'm thinking of it right.
You are.
Okay.
As with any electrical site, there's general standards about arc flashing and all those things. I am not an electrical engineer. I do know that as far as the shepherds and the design of the agrivoltaics, the main thing you want to do is protect the wire junction points and make sure the wires are protected with plastic or PVC or some conduit, something like that. A lot of the wiring, in this case, actually, the cabling is going to have to be underground in Boone County. So that will help as well. But just wire management is the biggest thing. Making sure cabinets aren't left open, general safety standards. What's good for humans is generally good for sheep as well.
Further questions?
Mr. Chairman,
I think before you, Mr. Wiltie, I had somebody else. Was that Mr. Shoemaker?
Yeah, I had a question for staff. What is our projected land use for the county in that area?
Our land plan indicates that property is residential, higher density residential. So could be interpreted as potentially a higher density built residential.
So that's our future use is what we've designated it for as residential?
Correct. That's our future land use plan.
Okay.
Mr. Wiltie, did you have something?
yes, just very briefly, Mr. Chairman, and thank you. Brent was concerned about the effect of the electrical non-grounding on the production of milk and the dairy herds and the cows. I don't think the sheep have quite that problem. I'm no farmer, so I'm speaking about what I think is the case. I just don't think that there's going to be a problem here, but I appreciate Mr. Riley, Mr. Snyder bringing these issues to our attention.
I've got a question. I've been on this board a long time and seen a lot of special uses come through. I've seen developers come in here and promise the world, and I've seen developers come in here and lie through their teeth.
Yes, sir.
Just recently, we had a solar developer come in. They're based in Illinois, they're an Illinois company. They're gonna construct or develop, run and maintain this project. Is that something you're going to do? Is this a short-term for you and your company, or are you here for the long haul?
Long haul meaning owning and maintaining. I do know that the recent economic climate and solar, there's a lot up in the air. Our company, as with this project, as with all our projects, we are evaluating sale or retain options on this. The ITC tax credit repeal, which is part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, does have a huge impact on this project. So I don't want to lie to you. It's a pure financial consideration that's made by people above me. But the protections and the conditions that the project agrees to is with Otta Solar. It is not with Cypress Creek Renewables. It travels with the project. So theoretically, these 20 or 21 conditions that we agreed to will be equally as applicable as to Cypress Creek Renewables or whoever else in the future. But there is some potential that this project will change ownership hands in the future. But that's why we want to set it up right and check every box and make sure that, if whoever owns it in the future, if it's not us, rises up to the same commitments that I'm making here right now.
When you say some potential, what's the percentage of some?
I can't give a percentage. It's not, it's a real potential.
So probably likely.
I wouldn't say likely. There's a lot of ITC considerations going on right now in the solar industry that a lot of companies need to make individual decisions about projects or portfolios. I don't know that Cypress is in a better position to answer that right now, just out of the nature of 2025 Q3, what's going on.
Okay. Any more questions, Mr. Riley?
It's not necessarily a question for you, sir. I appreciate it, but I'm just going to make a comment that at this point, I think I'm going to be abstaining from this vote as well tonight because I would like to get a little more information. Not just from the city, but we put a lot of stock and we put a lot of faith in a lot of faith in Pam Fettis and Growth Dimensions. And I didn't get a chance to contact her to get her take on this thing. So I would like to get a little bit more information from her before I vote yes or no. We keep talking about all the things that are going to be happening in the future. And a lot of it boils down to lack of housing. We have no place for people that are going to come here and work, perhaps with the Stellantis plant reopening again in a couple of years. It's always out there that we don't have enough place for these people to live. So I don't know how far in the future the city's plans were to develop this property and perhaps turn it into more housing, which we've been told is desperately needed. I think that would be more of a fit for that area out there. Again, the property owner has the right to do what he wants to do with his property, or at least apply for the right to do whatever he wants to do with his property. But until I talk to Pam, who's a trusted advisor to this board, I'm going to hold off on my vote. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think we're probably done with questions. Go ahead, Ms. Welty.
I'm sorry, but I need to say, thank you, Mr. Riley. I agree with what you just said about Pam and their direction, but we cannot on a case-by-case basis take someone's application and compare it to other applications that went wrong or didn't do what they said they would do. We have to take them one at a time based upon what they say and what they're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Welty. I want to talk about this just a little bit. I've got some serious concerns with this project. Part of it has to do with our factors that we looked at. The question was asked earlier tonight about what our comprehensive plan says. And our comprehensive plan, our current comprehensive plan, and the comprehensive plan we're working on currently to update has this property as residential. Our factors say the proposed commercial solar energy facility is not contrary to the objectives of the current comprehensive plan of the county. Now, the only part of our current comprehensive plan that this project or this project in this location is not against is the part of our comprehensive plan that says we should encourage renewable energies. That's just a broad statement in our comprehensive plan. What we've determined this property is best suited for is for housing. Now, I understand that council has stated, look, there's land just south of there. Those can be houses. Great. That's great. And that the previous subdivision was developed 20 years ago, which, if my math is correct, 20 years ago would have been 2005. And in 2008, we had a massive recession. In that massive recession, all residential construction stopped. And in fact, that kind of residential construction has not started to come back in this area until just recently. And that's a product of the financial concerns and the overabundance of open lots that we did have. Those developed lots are now going away. There's not near what there was. There were hundreds prior. And anybody who's been involved in the construction industry can tell you that's what happened. You go east of here, especially southeast of here, construction is going like mad for new subdivisions, new developments, because people need places to live. That's coming this way. It's going to be here. If Stellantis reopens, as everybody tells us it will, plus additional businesses that are coming and looking to come here and potentially coming here. And I know potential is one thing, reality is another. Don't get me wrong there. We just had a presentation from Ms. Fettis with Growth Dimensions last month that talked about a company looking at this area to bring 300 to 700 jobs. Those 300 to 700 people, we'd much rather live here in Boone County than over in Winnebago or McHenry or even Beloit. We'd like them to live here. If we don't have places for them to live, they're going to go elsewhere to live. But where do people want to build houses? Where's the best place to build houses? Where you have infrastructure. And what did council give us tonight? They gave us a map that shows infrastructure right across the road from this property. You have water and sewer right there. That's the biggest expense. If there was no water and sewer leading up to this, that's a huge expense that a developer or somebody would have to put in order to develop this property into residential, retail, or commercial. It's already there. In fact, this body is the one that put that infrastructure there because the county board ran that water to Maple Crest 15 years ago. This property is much better suited for residential, commercial, retail. Housing across from the school. Where do people want to have houses? Near a school. It only makes sense. To say that this landowner couldn't sell this property to a developer right now is a stretching of the truth, to say the least. But lots of developers would buy that property like that if they wanted to sell it. It's prime real estate for development. Everybody on this board knows that I've been a pretty staunch defender of allowing people to put solar farms where they want to put them. I really struggle with the fact that I believe people own their property, they pay their taxes, they should be able to do with that property what they want. But if we're not going to even remotely follow our comprehensive plan, why do we have it? If we reject this development, could we get sued? Yep, could. Sometimes there are times when we need to stand up and say, look, this just doesn't make sense. If this were on the middle of Hunter Road, I'd say, you know what? It meets all the criteria. It's in the middle of nowhere. Let them have their solar farm. This is in prime development land. If it were a 15-year solar farm, I'd say we could probably live with it. 40 years. I'm not typically a betting man, but I would bet that within 40 years, there'll be houses on that property. Especially with a school across the road and water and sewer right there. It does go against our comprehensive plan, 100%. It will affect the neighboring areas. It will have a detrimental economic impact on our community because those houses, those retail spaces, those commercial spaces that would be on that property would bring and generate a lot more income and a lot more benefit for the community around than solar panels. This is one that I will say no to unless some huge epiphany shows up. But it's against our comprehensive plan. That's why we have it. We want to try and follow it as best we can. We set those plans for a reason, to give us a vision of what our future is. And that's a growth for residential, commercial, retail. Open up for one last comment from anybody else. Mr. Thornberry.
I agree with you 100%. I don't like taking farmland out of production, especially when you get it this high. But if it's going to be taken out of production, I'd rather see houses there, like Mr. Johnson said, because it makes a hell of a lot more sense. Because like he said, the school's there, it's not that hard to build a crosswalk. And you're going to have crosswalk there eventually, because that will be housing.
Okay. Anyone else quickly? Council, I'll give you the last word.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So, Mr. Thornberry, you asked why this location. I think you were implying that maybe like a brownfield site or a landfill, those types of properties or rocky, hilly properties are better for solar. Or properties you can't farm. Absolutely. Right? That's what you'd want for solar. And I think Ryan would want a site there too. The problem is those unicorns don't exist. They don't.
One right out here.
Yeah, well, after it's already developed, they're not very many more. And so what do developers do? They look for flat land. They look for land that's not rocky so that they can pile their solar panels into. They look for land that's by those three-phase power lines because that's where it needs to be connected to the grid. They look for land that's close to a substation. And they look for land with substations with capacity, with energy that they can put into those substations. So it's not just like a whack-a-mole, or it's not just like a, close your eyes and pick a good spot. There are limited spots. This is a spot. They found a place where the electricity will be accepted, where a landowner is willing and wants a solar farm. Not everywhere in Boone County you can build one, but they found one here. And the project does meet all the requirements that the legislature set forth. But remember, as Mr. Chairman indicated, the utilities have been there for 15 years. Should the landowner have to wait another 15 years for a development to come? What if Stellantis doesn't come? These are all educated guesses that there's going to be some future residential development, but we don't have a crystal ball. And what the landowner has is an interest in using this land for solar. And I haven't heard of anyone saying that there's going to be environmental harms or anything like that. Solar is one of the most passive uses you can find. And if there was developmental interest in the site, residential development interest, they would be knocking on our landowner's door and he would tell the solar farm to take a hike. But the solar farm is what's bringing him the most income. The residential development interest is not there. So I talked about the benefits. If this isn't approved, then the road widening on Beloit, that goes away. If this isn't approved, the utility easement that lets the utilities go across our landowner's land, that goes away. It would have to be condemned. The landowner shouldn't have to wait into perpetuity for a residential use to come forth. They're asking for what's allowed under the state law. And the ZBA found that all the factors were met. The comprehensive plan, you can pick and choose what you want from a comprehensive plan. It's a guidance document. It is not set in stone. And it changes as well based on new conditions. But the staff report said this. These were the findings of fact adopted by the ZBA. And this is the factor about the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan designates the property as residential. The land use designation of residential does not support the future development of solar as a permitted use. The parcel is a fraction of the area set out for higher density residential. Remember, look at the map. There's a lot of other areas you can develop residential. This would leave ample opportunities for development around the proposed development. The applicant is working with Boone County Conservation District to ensure the project benefits the local ecosystem. Plantings are required as part of the project for native species, improving the soil health, biodiversity, working to create a sustainable environment for the area. The use is an established special use within all agricultural zoning districts. Chapter 4, Environmental Sustainability, protecting the environment by promoting the use of alternative energy sourced and considering the natural environment. So you could look at it both ways. You could look at that factor both ways. The state law doesn't let you look at any of these factors, but there are two ways to slice that apple. And in this case, the ZBA, after reviewing this very closely, looking at the comprehensive plan, hearing directly from the mayor of Belvedere and hearing directly from the applicant, found that we met every single factor, except for that there was good soil. That's the only one. And that's the reason one of the ZBA members voted against the project. So we feel like we've come here with a really good record. We've made some good proposed conditions about including some agrivoltaic guardrails about how to control these sheep, and we can provide this plan. But this is a good project. And if the county wants it to be residential, they're going to have to condemn the land because it's not sure it's ever going to be residential. And the landowner shouldn't have to wait. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. We will vote on this item. Special use 13-2025 94XX Beloit Road with the conditions that are attached as read into the record by staff.
Do we have a roll call, Mr. Chairman?
That's what I'm going to do. I'm getting there. Hold on.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Yes vote would be approval. No vote would be no. Either way, just so applicant knows, either way, no matter what this vote is, it still goes to the full county board in 2 weeks. Carl Johnson, no. Brian Schneider.
No.
Dave Cordray.
No.
Dave Wiltsey.
Aye. Aye.
Josh Shoemaker.
No.
Tom Wahlberg, abstain. Elisa Patterson.
No.
Dana Logston.
Yes.
Rodney Riley.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Mary Thornberry.
No.
Motion fails. by a vote of
6-2.
6-2 with 2 abstentions. And we do have 2 members absent, so. Either way, that will, as I said, this will go to the full county board in 2 weeks. I don't know what that date is.
We don't know yet. That's next on the agenda.
Stop it. Okay, all right. It goes on the county board meeting, whatever we decide that is. But we'll let you know for sure. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Your time.
Thank you. All right. And to board members, I would just like to thank you for having a civil discussion and debate on this project. I appreciate it. Next up, October County Board meeting. Ms. Tobin. We had talked about moving that to the 23rd, but I understand that there are some conflicts. That's that word. Been a long day. And the purpose originally we're talking about moving is because we want to lay it over. Is that correct? Or
Correct. It's like, the way, as we've had this problem all year long, our meetings are so early in the month. You'd be laying over the budget basically, 5 weeks before. The budget doesn't get approved till November 20th. So, more than a month beforehand. And yes, obviously you can still make a lot of changes. You can do anything. I wasn't sure if you wanted to have full finance meeting and then lay it over the following week. You can keep it the way it is, and we do a budget meeting. Maybe it's, we pick a different date. Maybe it's the 22nd or the 23rd or whatever. You can keep it this way. I just didn't know if people felt more comfortable.
I think let's go ahead and keep our standard schedule. Let's try and keep it the way we should. That would be my recommendation. And then if we decide we need an additional meeting, we'll come up with a date for that additional meeting to have just a straight finance meeting, whether it's earlier in that week, whether it's even another week in November early or something like that, because we've got all that time. Just so new board members should know, once we lay the budget over, all that means is we're taking the budget, we're making it public. This is a proposed budget. It's on layover for review for anybody to look at, make comments on. We can continue to alter and change that budget during that layover period up until we approve it. Gavel swings on that day in November. So we can make those adjustments. Mr. Riley.
Just a quick one. Becky, is it more time needed? I mean, obviously the 23rd is not good, but if we went into the next week, would that be better for you? Or would you rather have it done that week?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm super stressed, and to have a full document to you by October 16th is going to be pushing it. I'll have it done, but it's pushing it.
No. I'm just saying, would you rather have more time? If we were to kick it back out, would you rather go that week of the 20th, or would you like to go to the week of the 27th? What would work best for you? That's all I'm asking.
Here's the other thing we can do is we can leave it the way it is right now. And if the budget can't be ready by then, we can always add a special board and do that at that point.
It will be. I think you're probably going to want another finance meeting, I think, based on, otherwise that's a lot to do next Thursday at finance. You have a lot to go through.
Sure. I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, you got people coming for levy presentations. We got the levy, all the wages and salary. There's a lot of new initiatives, and there's not going to be a lot of money. So,
right.
But I'll do my best. We'll have a draft by the 16th. It just,
thumbs up.
You might want another meeting after that.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Wahlberg.
And I was kind of in the same camp as Mr. Riley. I just felt like it's a lot for staff to try to put that together and require that by next week. And so that's why I was going to ask Ms. Tobin the same thing. I mean, if it would be, obviously we need to lay it over during the county board meeting. Is that the issue?
Yeah, you have to lay the budget over in a county board meeting.
Yes.
Over 30.
How many days?
Days.
15. So 2.
So we have to have a meeting on the 16th, no matter what.
No, we don't have to.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, so we have to lay the budget over by It's got to be approved by the end of November, right?
I guess it's.
There's not 15 days between admin and county board and
Right.
it's always, it's like 16, you know.
Right. I guess I was thinking it was 15. I thought it was 30.
Laid it over in November.
What?
If we were to lay it over.
Right, that's why we've never been able to have it at ad or like
Well, I mean,
before admin.
we could play with a lot of dates and a lot of things, and we can always, we had to have extra days to be able to approve the budget at the end of November. We could, have a special meeting the 28th of November, which is a Friday.
Well, and that's why I was reading your suggestions here. Did you have the week of the 27th? Suggestion. October, Chairman, is the 28th is a Tuesday.
Right, not a
Yeah,
Friday.
but the 28th of November is a Friday.
Oh,
That's when the budget has to be approved.
got it.
Right? So you could lay it over 15 days before November 28th.
I see your thoughts.
Okay.
So, I mean, we can
Got it.
play with dates a lot.
So
I guess, Becky, you tell me if you,
I think we're okay. I mean, you will have a pretty solid draft of the general fund for next Thursday.
okay. 'Cause part of it, I'd like to try and get us back on a regular, so people know you're 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. And if we have to add meetings, we can add meetings. But
Okay.
try and get us back into some consistency. We've been hopping around meetings quite a bit.
I'm good with that. Yep.
All right.
Perfect. So I guess I'll just have to be the guy in the room. We're coming back at this point, it's on the 16th.
On the 16th.
That's fine.
Yep. Full county board meeting on 16th.
Okay.
Finance next Thursday.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks. Yep. And if we need more time, which we probably will, then we'll pick another date.
Yep.
Have another meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Absolutely. All right. Any landfill info?
No landfill.
Other correspondence?
UCCI, the fall conference, I've attached, information on that. If anybody's interested in going, please let Michelle know. And then I also included from, our trip to Washington DC, we had, UCCI sent us all the presentation slides. So I included that on here as well, if anybody was interested.
Perfect. I see no need to have executive, so, Mr. Schneider, you want to make a motion?
Sure. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Schneider, seconded by Mr. Riley. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a